Watching the 2025 SCAC Tennis Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Trinity University men's tennis program. Tigers once again be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Russell McMindes, along with leadership from senior Eric Liao. Hey, Coach Eric, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, heading into year 16 as the head coach of this Trinity men's tennis program. As you know, in college, every team is anew and no team is the same. So, I'm interested, what do you want the fans to know about this group, this 2025 version of this Tigers men's tennis program? You have the unique perspective of being with them day in and day out at practice and on the road trips and on match day. So what have you learned about this group? What do you want the fans to know about this team as far as the strengths and the excitements going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would hope the continuity and the character and the personality of our team doesn't waver or deviate a whole lot. The culture of the program should be intact, and I believe this team personifies that and will continue to reflect that. But it's a fun time. I think we have a younger general group as far as if you look at our roster where we got a lot of young guys playing and contributing, but at the end of the day it's still anchored by guys like on my right here, Eric, that just provide amazing leadership and contributing spots on the line. They're still going to be the anchor of the program. But it's definitely a bit of a youth movement in the last couple of years for us, and you're seeing a lot of those guys get experience and exposure, some great new personalities, a lot of fire, a lot of energy. I think what you'll see by watching us day in and day out is that energy kind of oozes from line to line, and it's definitely on display. I mean, the guys are all about the team energy and the team morale and being there for one another between courts, off the court, during the matches. So I think you're going to see a lot of that on display throughout the year as we play and compete.
Eric, coming into this your senior season, you've been such a big part of this program and the success that the Tigers have had over these three previous years. And I'm just interested, your approach coming into this spring semester, your senior year as one of the leaders with this team. Kind of, what's been your mindset, and just how excited are you to embrace on this senior year journey that you're getting ready to take off.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for my final year. I mean, we have a pretty brand new team. It's very young, so I mean, I'm just trying to help out in whatever aspect I can. Like on the court, I mean, in doubles, singles, both or neither. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. Like as long as I can try to help out in some sort of way to my teammates, especially the new guys. I mean, we have a lot of new people playing in the lineup, contributing like for real points. So just whatever I can do to help really is my mindset coming into this final season.
Coach, coming into this year, a bit of an adjustment, as we start off the matches in doubles, just that one doubles match point as opposed to the three individual points going into this season. Has that at all, shifted the mindset, the philosophy with your group? How and what changes has been made kind of just with the approach of doubles going to these matches now with that shift?
Yeah, it's definitely a big one, and it's funny. I've been here long enough that I've seen us shift both ways. When I was a player and first year's coaching, it was a doubles point, and we shifted to the every match counts. And I remember that first year that we switched to that format. I hated it because it put so much balance and emphasis on the doubles. Even as a doubles guy myself, I mean, I'm a doubles purist. I love it. But that first year, I remember in NCAA's, we got swept 3-0, and that day I didn't like it. That put us in such a hole going into the singles. But then as we played it forever, I grew to absolutely love it. I love that every doubles match carried weight, and there was never an abandoned match. There was never a match that didn't have value. And so now here we are. We've shifted again back to the doubles point. And early on, there's some learning curve and some growing pains with it, but it's still, at the end of the day, the doubles still provides that spark you need. It provides such great momentum going into the singles. It lifts the team morale. It provides that energy as you roll into the singles format that every team wants. You want momentum. You're looking for momentum. Obviously you go into the singles. It's a long game, and you got to play it that way. But the doubles still carries great value. It's just the mindset is shifted in that every match you go into, you have to be ready to compete and win at least 3 singles matches. Like there's no way around it. There's no scenario where you're going to have to do less than that. So that has shifted. We still emphasize it a ton in practice because, like I said, I think our team is built on energy and momentum, and that boost we can provide on the double court is instantly tangible. So we're still going to create big emphasis on that. I still believe in it. It provides a lot of value for what we do as a team. It's a big part of our identity as a team. But we also believe we're a balanced team. So we're not going to live and die by it, but it's still going to provide the boost we want going into singles, sets the tone. And then the guys that are on the singles court will use that momentum and hopefully ride it through to victory. But it definitely is, it's an adjustment for sure.
Eric, how would you describe the team's energy coming into this season? What's the motivation with this group? As one of the leaders, how have you seen kind of the chemistry of this group start to come together? And just from a team perspective, what are you looking forward to most coming into the year?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think us as a group, we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of different personalities this year on the group with the new group coming in. Um, the thing I look most forward to is definitely the team trips that we do, especially the flighted ones, because I mean we have to spend a lot of time with each other, and we just get to bond and know each other more than what we'd usually know each other when we're just at home practicing. And just by like the other day, I was giving some advice to people on the singles court, and I think the most important part is not actually the technical and strategical stuff, but it's more knowing that trying to get the message across that, you're with them on the court together. And with that sense of closeness that we feel on through these team trips, it makes it more comfort comfortable to be with them on the court.
Coach, every season obviously is a big year, but and a special year. But this one highlighted a little bit differently, knowing it's Trinity's last year in the SCAC, and as someone who's been with the SCAC for so long, I think 26 years now, going into your 26th year, whether as a player, an assistant, and now as a head coach within this program. You can't tell the SCAC tennis story without talking about Trinity, without talking about yourself, the championships, the national championships, all the things. So I'm just interested in a little reflection what the conference has meant to you, and just knowing that it's your last season in the SCAC. Is that something that just adds a little extra motivation to make it as special as possible?
Sure. Yeah, of course. It's definitely, like you said, 26 years, which kind of is a staggering number for me. Maybe not as surprising with the gray hairs and the beard now, but it's been a big part of my life as this program has, and we've always taken it very seriously. We take a lot of pride in how we've represented the SCAC and what the SCAC has meant to our program and the university as a whole. We take that real seriously, and it's always, without question, it's goal number one every year when we enter the season, and we try to keep that consistent. So even though this year is the last year in the conference, and that's a little bittersweet, knowing that we'll have a different conference affiliation next year, it's still like keeping that message consistent. It allows us to treat it like we just got to go and do our business. We got to do and take care of our business and control what we can control. But we've always put it as a point of emphasis and carried a lot of pride with it. Every member of our team knows what it's meant to our program. So there's no mysteries. It's no surprise. That's always the number one goal. We take a lot of pride in it, and we want to continue to carry that flag. So, last year, first year, we want to do it the right way no matter what. And we want to, we obviously, no mysteries there. We'd love to leave this conference on a high note and finish the way we started. So that's the ultimate goal.
And finally, Eric, we wrap up with you. When you've had conversations with some of the other teammates and leaders within your group about some of the goals and expectations for this season, what have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you see as being key for this team to go out and accomplish those goals heading into this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our goal would be to firstly win SCAC and then go on match at a time. I think that's the most important part. We can't just look ahead to where we want to be at the end. I mean, we have to treat every match with respect and just go for it one at a time. But I think with our tough schedule ahead, I mean, we have a lot of matches ahead of us, a lot of tough matches. So the most important thing is just to make sure we continue building and make sure we try to get better each match, even if it's just, the little things.
And finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, what's been the message to this group as you sort of started to lay the foundation for this season? What are some things you've trying to have the group focus on to make sure they're as prepared both mentally and physically as they possibly can coming into the spring semester?
Yeah, great question. And I'm going to say this a little tongue in cheek, but there's a lot of genuineness to this. This is do as Eric does. I mean, this guy, there's no surprise and mystery that this guy's a captain. And he's, I am so indebted to him for the 4 years we've had together so everything the right way on and off the court. I mean, the guy is the ultimate professional, in the way he conducts himself, the way he conducts himself as a person, as an individual, as a teammate, as a friend, and just he's the greatest example I could ever ask for. So I sincerely point to him a lot in team huddles after practices and say, this is the example you guys need to emulate because he does everything right. And that's like what he just said in there is you got to take it day by day. You got to do the little things that make a big difference, you know, and that you can't lose sight of the little things for the big picture. Like you have to stay in those small little areas and control the things you can control and do those to the best of your ability. So you put yourself in that position where you know you've done the things necessary to put yourself in position for success. The success is not guaranteed, but at least you know you've done your part to put yourself in the team in that position. So that's the message we just continue to try to drive home, that we're not going to be perfect. No day on the court is going to be a perfect day. We're not going to have success every time we're out there, but as long as we can look back and know we are trying to achieve and trying to do things as a team, as a unit, looking out for each other, genuine care and empathy for one another, supporting one another, because it's not easy. I mean, it's a numbers game ultimately in tennis. I mean, only 9 guys at most can be on the court at a time, and that's not always going to work in your favor. But just doing all the necessary things to support each other, be there for one another, like Eric said, like that's where it really matters, and you start to play for one another, and it gets deeper than just playing a tennis match. So that's what we keep trying to do. Just look at the culture of our program and stay true to that, stay true to each other as individuals and as people, and just put our best foot forward every day and try to do it the right way.
Trinity University head men's tennis coach Russell McMindes, along with leadership from senior Eric Liao. Coach McMindes and the Tigers will return to action when they take on Occidental on March 11th. Coach Eric, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head forward throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you again for your time. Appreciate it.